Gen friends, I'm Major Gaurav Arya and you're watching the Chanakya Dialogue.
We'll talk about all these things.
But when it comes to dollars, you're begging in front of the world, and today you're begging in front of India. Shame on you. Shame on you. For the Pakistani penal laws, lock them up in the Almirah and save yourself while you can, because the Pakistani army is coming after you. Gen friends, I'm Major Gaurav Arya and you're watching the Chanakya Dialogues English. Like this video, subscribe to our channel and don't forget to press the bell icon. Friends, recently Shehbaz Sharif, the Prime Minister of Pakistan, said that Pakistan and India should be friends because we have fought wars and it has resulted in unemployment, poverty, etc., etc. The same old. Pakistan keeps on repeating, and then Pakistan also said that long-standing and outstanding issues must be resolved within the international framework, alluding to Kashmir, because that is the only thing Pakistan has, There is nothing else that Pakistan has apart from Kashmir. And an occasional reference to Palestine. Pakistan cannot talk about trade because there is no trade. It does not talk about commerce because there is no commerce. It does not talk about intellectual property because there is no intellect. It does not talk about diplomacy because apparently the diplomacy has failed. It does not talk about anything except Islamophobia, Kashmir, Palestine. Right? Because these three things, it doesn't take any brains to talk about these. Set narrative. Keep on repeating it ad nauseum till the time people stop listening. That is Pakistan's, entire idea of diplomatic outreach. Anyway, having said that, India responded. Arindam Bagchi, who's the spokesperson of the Ministry of External Affairs, Government of India, said that India also wants good relations with all its neighbors, including Pakistan. But what is important is an environment free from terror, an environment of peace and stability. And I think India is well within its rights to ask for this, because India has been victim of Pakistan's terror machinery. In fact, now the shoe's on the other foot, and earlier Pakistanis were infiltrating into India and killing Indians. Now Pakistanis are killing Pakistanis. It's been going on for decades now, but now it's stepped up. Tehreek-e-Taliban Pakistan are Pakistanis who are killing Pakistanis. So clearly, this is what is happening in Pakistan, and they're also trying to do the same in India. We have largely managed to contain Pakistan in terms of terror, but there are these odd incidents that keep on happening. And unless the terror machinery is absolutely shut down and it's backbroken, I don't think there can be any decent relations or even normal relations between India and Pakistan. India will never go ahead with this. Never ever. It's not going to happen. I think Pakistan must get used to it. Another thing is that, Pakistan has been saying that we will approach the ICC, right? And the ICC, the International Cricket Council, is, we want to give them an assurance about our safety and security in India. This is just peevish behavior. This is a childlike, typical Pakistani behavior. And, Pakistan being concerned about its security, I don't even know how that works. Because, ladies and gentlemen, Pakistan is the place where every second day there are suicide attacks. Even a sacred place like a masjid or a mosque, is not safe. They'll blow up their own mosque. They'll just wear a suicide vest and just detonate it everywhere. Pakistanis are past masters of this. They've been doing it. Every single day there are terror attacks in Pakistan. Every single day. All right? Every second, third day there is some suicide attack somewhere happening in Pakistan. There is something happening in Pakistan every single day that suggests that terrorists are getting the better of the state machinery. Because the state machinery, in spite of saying that our ISI is the best in the world, in spite of all the Pakistanis believing that their army is the best in the world, the number one, etc., the fact of the matter is that the number one intelligence agency, quote unquote, the ISI, has no clue what is happening. They are unable to stop, unable to preempt, unable to formulate a strategy by which these suicide attacks in Pakistan stops. They can't do it because they have no clue what is happening. Or either they are complicit or incompetent, I don't know which. But the fact of the matter is that these attacks are not stopping. Pakistan, has got used to such a high level of terror, such a high level of violence in their society, so much of bloodletting in their society that anything that is normal scares the Pakistanis. They're afraid. They're afraid because if they come to India, and I hope they don't come to India, I pray that the Pakistan cricket team does not come to India for the World Cup. I pray to God that they don't come. But it's crazy, They see that everybody going to shopping malls and people are going to the market, people are going to the offices, and there are, touch wood, no terror attacks, everything is safe. And then Pakistanis start feeling out of place. Because, being Pakistani also means getting up in the morning and reading about yesterday's suicide blast or suicide attack. Now, it does not happen in India. And the Pakistanis are absolutely, they're confused. They're saying, we feel unsafe in India. So please, ICC, you have to give us a guarantee. What should we do? I don't know how to sort of address this issue that the Pakistanis have come up with. This is just, juvenile behavior on part of a nation of 250 million people. Just juvenile behavior. And I seriously think that if Pakistanis want something good to happen to their country, they should sack Bilawal Bhutto. The man is incompetent. The man is a product of nepotism. He is a cabinet minister because his mother was the prime minister, father president, grandfather prime minister. That is the only reason why he has been made a cabinet minister in the Sharif cabinet, because his party has some sort of weight, political weight. Otherwise, this man is incompetent, Bilawal Bhutto. So, I would request the Pakistani people, and this I'm addressing to the people of Pakistan, where is that sense of honor in you? Where is your sense of shame? Where is that sense of face? India said it will not go to Pakistan to play the Asia Cup. India made its position very clear. Why are you people not able to say exactly the same thing to India? You should say, very well, we respect India's decision of not coming to Pakistan to play the Asia Cup, and we, the people of Pakistan, have decided that we too will not go to India to play the World Cup. That's it, end of story. It ends there. But no, you want Indian money. You will talk about honor. You will talk about self-respect. You will talk about how you're an atomic power. You will talk about how you have the quote-unquote #1 agency and #1 army in the world. You will talk about all these things. But when it comes to dollars, you're begging in front of the world, and today you're begging in front of India. Shame on you. Shame on you. All right, in another news from the financial markets, Morgan Stanley upgrades India's status to overweight, downgrades China. Now, what does it mean when you say overweight? This is not that human overweight thing. It's not a negative thing. It's a positive thing. And overweight in financial parlance, what Morgan Stanley says is that an overweight rating means that the firm expects India's economy to perform better in the future. That's number one. So, what their expectations, and everybody's crystal gazing based on data, based on some sort of, metrics. And they're saying that it is expected that India's economy will perform better and better in the future. That's number one. And the macro indicators remain resilient and the economy is on track to achieve the 6.2 GDP forecast. Number two. And it also says that India rises from 6 to 1 in our process with relative valuations less extreme than in October, and India's ability to leverage multipolar world dynamics is a significant advantage. Now, when you say multipolar world dynamics, what does it mean? See, the Ukraine war with Russia, it impacted the entire world. It impacted India also, but India was able to manage it. India was stable. The boat did not shake. Think about COVID. So many people died. There was shortage of oxygen for a little period of time. There were so many issues that were happening in India. But India's economy bounced back. There was a shutdown for almost 2 years, but India's economy bounced back. So, ladies and gentlemen, India's economy is resilient to geopolitical upheavals and storms. This is what the Morgan Stanley people are saying, and they're also saying that the nation's reform and macro stability agenda supports a strong capex and profit outlook. So they're saying that macro stability, in the sense that the overall picture, the larger picture of stability is that it supports a stronger capex. You've all heard maybe about capex and opex, operating expenditure and capital expenditure. So operating expenditure is in terms of a company, because I've been the CEO of a company, so this is what I can say as simply as I can. For those of you who do not understand that reoccurring expenditure, right, is what you have monthly is operating expenditure, which helps a company operate as OPEX, and CAPEX is when you buy a physical asset. So in terms of a country, in terms of a company, it will be workstations, it will be furniture, it will be buying a building or real estate or stuff like that. And so many other things, of course, will come in the CAPEX. And OPEX will be, coming back to the CAPEX part, in terms of a nation, it will be ports, it will be metros, it will be railways, it will be airfields, it will be, setting up of technology parks, and, where there is national highways, where there is, you have to put in a lot of money, billions upon billions upon billions of dollars. So India has that capacity. It has also downgraded China. Now, China was overweight, and from overweight it has come to equal weight, which means it's come down. And India is arguably at the start of a long wave boom. At the same time, China may be ending one. So they're saying that the long wave boom in the economy for India has just started, and this will continue for a long time. That is what Morgan Stanley says, but it says that China is ending a long wave boom. So things do not look very, very bright for China, but things look exceedingly bright for India. That is this thing. And then they say that essentially the Americans are pulling back from China. This is also a result of decoupling with the Chinese economy. Right? The Americans have made up their mind that China has to be punished. And how can you punish China? You can punish China by, simply not asking your firms to manufacture in China. That is a massive beating that China is taking right now. It's a massive beating. And slowly, the American firms are pulling out of China. They're pulling out of China. And many of them are coming to India. Many of them are going to the Philippines, South Korea. Wherever they go, it doesn't matter, as long as they're not in China. And this is why all this downgrading is happening. Of course, long-term macro indicators for China also don't look good, because I think China is over-leveraged. Too much of a good thing. All right. And, India receives Spike NLOS missiles. These are line-of-sight anti-tank guided missiles that can hit targets from a distance of 30 kilometers. These are Israeli missiles, and also, ladies and gentlemen, this Mi-17 helicopters are being upgraded so that they can, essentially what is happening is that, these targets, sometimes what happens, these are smart kind of, not exactly a smart missile, so to say, but smart in the sense that maybe a target is hiding behind a feature. Maybe a target is hiding behind a mountain, right? So many of the missiles, in fact, most of the missiles are line of sight. If you can see it, and if it's in that distance, you can hit the target. But here, they're saying even if it's even if it's not line of sight, and even if it is behind a mountain or a feature, the missile can probably be fired like this, and then goes up and then it hits the target. So this is something new that India is getting, 30 kilometers. I think it's fantastic as far as anti-tank capability goes. And this is great. And, the last news of the day is that military trial of civilians in Pakistan. So there is I think a 6-7 member bench led by the CJP. The CJP is Umar Ata Bandial. He's the Chief Justice of Pakistan. And this comprises of Ejazul Ehsan, Justice Munib Akhtar, Justice Yahya Afridi, Justice Sayyid Mazhar Ali Akbar Naqvi, and Justice Ayesha Malik. And they said that the one whose case will abide by the constitution will be successful. And such homilies, essentially what they're trying to say, let me explain. In Pakistan, or the Pakistani justice system, the Supreme Court, with all their brother and sister judges, what Umar Ata Bandial, who is an Imran Khan loyalist, he's almost a card-carrying member of the Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf. His mother-in-law is in the PTI, and there is a joke in Pakistan that every other country has the rule of law. Pakistan has the rule of the mother-in-law. So this is pretty much it. Now, what they're saying is that we will not allow the army to use military courts to try civilians. So as I said, all the best, Justice Bandial. Sir, but if you read your history, you'll realize that judges or the justice system or even justice counts for nothing in your country. I mean, your constitution has been mauled by military dictators. They think nothing of tearing apart your constitution and throwing it in the dustbin, which is exactly what Zia-ul-Haq did, which is what Ayub Khan did, which is what Yahya Khan did, which is what Pervez Musharraf did, which is what all your military dictators did. And your civilian rulers are no better. They're just dictators out of uniform. So if you think that you're going to be able to stop the Pakistan army from doing anything, I'm sorry, they're just going to send an officer with a few soldiers to your house and you will be made to understand in the language that you understand. I mean, they are not above threatening judges, inflicting violence on judges. So, I mean, loyalty to Imran Khan, loyalty to one person is nice. It is admirable. But let me tell you, this is a fool's errand. Chief Justice Bandeyal, you're on a fool's errand. And nothing good will come out of this because General Asim Munir has pretty much decided on which direction the nation will go. And there is nothing you can do about it. So please take that copy of the Pakistani Constitution or the Pakistani penal laws, lock them up in the Almirah, and save yourself while you can, because the Pakistani army is coming after you. This is all that I have to say. So ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching this video. If you like this video, press like, subscribe to our channel, and don't forget to press the bell icon. Jai Hind, Vande Mataram, Bharat Mata ki Jai.